Hey Bayek, it's me Ian, and in today's video I'm going to talk about this film. It's The Masque of the Red Death from 1964. Yes, it was inevitable really I would get to this film. Not only is it such an influential film in so many ways. For me personally, it follows really in my interest of love of all Hammer and all that kind of period in time. And this film was very much, it caught my imagination so much. I remember seeing this on the TV, and it just really struck me as a child. You know, I must have been 10 or 11 when I first saw this, and it just blew me away. It just, how amazing it was. And as I've got older over the years and watched it, and actually seen it on a big screen, then you realise just what a great film it was. It was filmed in 5 weeks, and it's 91 minutes long, and directed by what I consider one of the great producers and directors, Roger Corman. Now, he's certainly famous in this period for doing the Edgar Allan Poe stories, and they starred Vincent Price, and here he is in this film, perhaps giving one of his greatest performances. What I love about Vincent Price in this film is that he has that evilness about him. He's really a cruel man, but he just adds something more than that. He's not just your typical villain. And it doesn't go over the top. Sometimes there's a danger that when you're in this kind of role, that you can really go, really over the top with it. But he doesn't. And I find that quite interesting. I think that's why it just adds to the mystique almost of this film. The acting of Vincent Price, his performance is just so outstanding. And also, again, what makes this film stand out as a link now with the previous film I talked about, which was Don't Look Now, Nicholas Roeg's cinematography on this film. He was really developing their style, and this use of colour particularly comes out amazingly when you see the Red Death and the reds. And then there's the other colours you see in these rooms. Absolutely wonderful and outstanding. And the masked ball and the whole inside of the castle is amazing, the way it's filmed. And then in complete contrast, you see in the outside where the village is and where the peasants, if you want to call them that, peasants, see, there they are. Yep, well, there they are, the peasants. And it's filmed all very dark, and there's the plague, the Red Death, it's all out there. And yet you get also the mixture of the sort of almost religious aspect of this film, which is the death, the symbols of death, the figures of death. And that is an interesting contrast with what's going on in the castle. They think they're safe in there. They think they're secure. And they're willing to do anything to save their skins, if you want to put it like that, and let this cruel man Prince Prospero do anything he wants because they are under his protection, as they see it. So they will, and they indulge themselves. They love all the opulence that he offers to them. Of course, everything has a price, as we know in life, and this certainly is a big price to pay. They're not as safe as they think they are, which is an interesting look at life. You can look at that in many ways. But that is great. But say, Nicholas Roeg's cinematography just elevates this film even higher. And it's wonderful, really is. The other actors involved are Hazel Court, who plays Juliana. She's the mistress who is embracing I suppose you call it Satanism, and will do anything. And then there's the sort of innocence, if you want to call it, which is played by Jane Asher. She plays the character Francesca. She's the peasant girl who comes under the wing of Prince Prospero. But she's a very sort of innocent kind of character, representing the good, if you want to call it that, in life. It's his job, I suppose, he feels, to corrupt her, to bring her onto a satanic path, if you want to call it that. Then there's a wonderful performance by the stalwart Patrick McGee. He's a great actor at these kind of evil, bad roles that he plays so brilliantly in this period. It pops up in all sorts of things. He's great in this role, and it's just wonderful. So basically the whole story is you kind of have an idea about where this may go, but it's interesting watching it unfold as they think they're safe inside the castle under his protection, and all around the Red Death is there, and it's waiting almost, and it's quite patient, and it's going to come in and finally wreak havoc, and there is no protection from it, really. There never was, never will be. And Prince Prospero thinks he is safe, that he is under the master, Satan, and that he can overcome this. He sees the earth as a place of real suffering, a place of darkness, a place of where this so-called loving God, as he sees it, seems to have not bothered with humans at all. He lets them suffer, and he sort of revels in that. He never sees the any other side. He just sees that what life is. To him, that's the reality, and Satan is reality, not this fictional stuff of this so-called loving God. That's how he sees it. When we have Jane Asher's character, as I say, his job is clearly to show her that this is the case, and he is wanting to corrupt her and bring her to his way of thinking, and to take her as well in the service of Satan. It's just, the whole thing is just an amazing film, and you can't help but be so impressed by it. I always have, and I always love the way you just see so much in it. I can't believe that it was on such a low budget relatively, but the kind of I think the colour really is this amongst, the special effects really enhances this film. And to me, it must have looked amongst other directors and filmmakers as a real influence in how to film horror films. And certainly Hammer had its own style, and that was also influential. And I think a film like this must have been very influential to all the directors that were to come in the 70s and 80s, because they could use some of the special effect techniques that are used in this film. I mean, I find it amazing. You look at the films sometimes nowadays, or just in the past, which have had massive budgets, and you think, well, what have they done with that money? It sometimes the special effects and the way it's filmed don't hold up in the same way as a film like this. This film really does hold up as a great piece of filmmaking. It's influential, and I absolutely love it. I put this in the same category as the best of those Hammer films. And as I always say, I love the Hammer films, and it's you can see why it was so influential. It's a great film. If you haven't seen it, why haven't you seen it? I'll tell you something, it's in for a real treat. Do you know something? I'll just show you. This edition came out in 2021, January 2021. I immediately had to get it, and I did. And look at this. It's in a nice slip cover. Absolutely wonderful. And inside, we've got 2 discs. And we've also got a set of art cards. There's a whole set of art cards here. 4 of them. And then we've got a nice 20-page booklet all about the film. Really nice, put together. And this is the full restoration, 2018 restoration. And we get the definitive cut of the film. They brought together the American and English prints, put them together, and created this. And it is now the definitive version. Well worth getting hold of. Such a nice package. And guess what? I looked on Amazon. It's only £12. Only £12? Bloody hell. What? No, £12 nowadays I would consider excellent value. It really is. This is a brilliant value. I couldn't believe actually that it was this good, for this. It really is. So if you really want a good copy, this is the one to get, the latest edition, definitive one. And that's it. I think that's it. There's so much you can go into this film talking about it, but I hope I've given you a little taste of what it's about. It's a beautifully filmed film. It really is. And it's an experience that you never forget. And I never forgot it. It really grabbed my imagination, as you shall see in this. And it's still with me. Anyhow, that's it. I'll just say usual stuff about, if you want to be informed about when I put out new videos, then hit the subscribe button. It costs note, as we say, note. And then, if you like it, give it a like. And I think that's it, really. That's all. And so I'll see thee, and I'll see thee again.